What's up, everyone? Welcome back. So, today's episode, we are going to be going over the little lady behind the villain, or otherwise known as the youngest daughter of the villainous Duke. Now, this one, the genre for both, on top and on the other, is romance fantasy. So, you can easily kind of tell what it's going to be about, kind of. But at some point, you're not going to be able to tell. So let's get into this. The little lady behind the villainous Duke, or the little lady behind the villain, it is about a person, a young girl, who after passing a drunk, cold night, she wakes up as a young orphan. She's not just any girl, but she's a character from a novel I wrote in high school, abused and sold at an auction. Suddenly she gets saved by her father named Duke Henry Rinsgray, the story's original villain, who's like a total complete "you're my daughter, we're okay" kind of thing, or like a complete doting father. And what ends up happening is the first episode, she goes on explaining about kind of like how she ends up there, how her life was at Count Samut, which, spoiler alert, is not great at all. So she ends up trying to escape, failed, and now she got sold at an auction house, which later her father saves her from. Just give him a point for saving her, although she is now 6 years old and is like a little too late. But hey, he still came to save her, even though it's like 6 years too late. So and then she ends up like her healing journey starts. She learns how to heal, she learns how to let go of her past, of what happened with her at the place. The maids are really, really kind, and honestly, some of the maids are my favorite. I wish there would be like a side story with the maids. I I'm being for real here. I wish there was a side story. But then like she meets her older brothers. One of her brothers didn't really particularly like her. Kind of like he's kind of like I kind of like a how do I put this? He doesn't like her. Like mm, he kind of just doesn't want her to go through what he went through, basically. Yeah, there's that brother. But later on, he actually welcomes her. If I'm being honest, he actually does welcome her. Now, she also meets the male lead named Kine. And I'll explain what he is actually is because he's a quote unquote crown prince, but he's not an actual prince. There is that. He is not an actual prince. But you got like the main characters, as well as there's another character that later on gets introduced. His name is Lucian Elzador, who turns out he's not actually a kid or not actual human. His soul, her soul is not. There's Villa. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Bella. It's one of the two. But then there's also her, and she is actually she's an actual kid. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind, because there's like some funny scenes I'll be talking about that actually got me rolling. And what you're gonna end up like seeing is if you actually read it, if you do read it, which please, you gotta read this. This is some of the things that happen is hysterical. Because there's like a good, healthy amount of like cozy feeling. I meant cozy. I mean like wholesome. There's a good amount of wholesome stuff that happens. That honestly, if you don't watch this, or like if you don't read it and you don't feel like the wholesome vibes, I swear that come on, it's wholesome. It's like complete wholesome with some of the vibes that happens. And so you got that going on. And yes, you do have some villains, some bad guys. And by the way, I've been like trying to keep track of how many times the male lead saves her. It's way more than what I originally thought, so there is that. There is 2 time skips, by the way. Like, there are 2 different time skips. First time skip happens when like, it's kind of, I think it's like after her birthday, there's a time skip to where she is now going to the tower for, like, getting her providence, basically powers. And then there will be another time skip after, like, a Christmas party. For us, it would be a Christmas party or New Year's. For them, they call it something else. So there's 2 time skips. I'm saying this right now. I'm calling it. There's probably going to be a 3rd time skip. There will be more likely than not a 3rd time skip. I got spoiled by some of the stuff for the novel, and I'm literally getting the vibe that there's going to be a 3rd time skip. So let's be prepared for that. There will be a 3rd time skip. Now, to go into how I am giving points. So if you see my first one, you see like some of the stuff. Well, I add kind of a little bit more. So there is toxic, anger, cozy, gremlin, but there's also going to be romance. I also added that in. Which, by the way, there is some romance. It's just that happens around episode 90? Not episode 90. It's like 92 or 93. It's like 93 when she starts realizing, oh my god, I actually I actually like him. And he's been making himself known. I mean, he's been making himself known that he actually likes her. And when you read it, you're like, oh, he does like her, but she doesn't actually know what she feels like, and he's respectful. I mean, he's a complete green flag. He is a green flag. Let's be real. He's a green flag. Kine is a green flag, even though he is not human at all. So, let's go ahead and start with the ranking, and I'll tell you what my overall points I'm giving to this. So, anger, how much this one is pissing me off. So far, I have to say a 0 out of 10. It's not pissing me off at all. Like, a lot of the things that are happening, I understand. And some of the stuff that she reacts to is understandable too. So it's not really pissing me off. So I give this one a 0 out of 10 for anger. Toxic, 0 out of 10 as well. I don't really, there isn't really any like toxicity that's going on in relationships between the two, or between any of the characters she has met so far. Sad. I'll just say like a 2 out of 10 because in the official English translation, there's only 98 episodes. However, the other one, if you look up The Longest Daughter of the Villainous Duke, there's 125 episodes. There are certain scenes that have made me feel really sad for Kine, for like how he's holding up. And he is like really, it's depressing when you find out what actually happened with him and the reason why he kind of acts the way he does. And it shows how much he actually cares about her too, for how he reacts to certain things. But other than that, it's just a 2 out of 10. That's like how it feels to me. 2 out of 10. What else? Oh yeah. Grim, like the cozy. How much cozy vibes am I getting? There is like a good amount of cozy vibes I've been getting from it. That's honestly, I would give it like a 9 out of 10, if I'm being honest. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. And the reason being I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 is because of the fact that he, there are different scenes where it's so cozy feeling. Like, it's so wholesome. They're just like, please give me more of this. I'm being real. Like, there is some of it that is just like, please give me more. Like, give me more cozy vibes. Just please. Please, 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 please. Just let's get more of this vibes going on. So there is that. Some of my favorite scenes, honestly, happens to be where she is spending time with all of them. She's spending time with her brothers. There is like one scene that is not in the official translation, but is in the unofficial translation where she's baking with Kai. And like, spoiler alert, she is trying to find a way for him to not starve. Because after a specific instance, she realizes, oh, this is pretty much selfish of me. He's been starving this whole entire time. So she starts trying to like find a way for him to eat something else, and it turns out he's actually very much a vegetation kind of guy. He likes fruits and grains. So there is that scene. That's like one of my favorite scenes. There's another scene where she's with her family and they all just like decided to just sleep in the same room because after the kidnapping, they're like, nope, we're going to argue about who gets to sleep with who. And she's like, okay, we all can just like sleep together. There you go. So they all are like sleeping in the same bed, which is kind of adorable. There is another one in which I'm trying to think of the third one because there is a third one. Actually, no, this would not be considered a cozy one. Yeah, this would not. I don't think this will. I'm going to consider it a cozy one. The way Kine and Lucian. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that name wrong. Lucian. He is. I think he's actually technically speaking the second male lead or like the male lead candidate. But like how those two react. So you got Kine, who, by the way, spoiler if you don't want to listen hear this, he's the king of stigma. So for us, he would be considered the king of demons. He's the king of stigma. And Lucian is, for all intents and purposes, a guardian of humans. So those two are like keep continuously clashing at each other, even though she at times it's like stop fighting you two, and those two are like trying to fight each other nonstop. I find that whole entire thing hilarious, especially when you like look in the background and you see her just having the look of I am so tired of this kind of thing. It's just funny. There is like another one where she's it's like she's just like done with it and she just lets him. I actually no, I actually feel like she will at some point just be like, I'm done. I'm just gonna let y'all have at this. I am done. That's just what I feel like might happen is that she just goes, I'm done, and walks out on that. I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of times where she almost does that. Now the gremlin side. There is a good amount of violence that happens that I'll have to say so far. This is a so far. I will have to say it's a 3 out of 10. The reason being is because out of the 98 chapters, technically speaking, 125 chapters, there isn't really that much violence that goes on. Like, you might get like once every 20 chapters or more some sort of like violence and then a little bit of blood. But other than that, there isn't really that much there isn't really that much fighting. Now, I'm pretty sure with the upcoming chapters, we might that that might actually get changed. I hate to say it, but that might actually get changed. Uh, other than that, overall ranking, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Well, actually, hold on. We need to talk about the romance part. Romance. Yeah. So I actually love the pace that it's going at. And when I say romance, I think for this one, it's not an actual like kissing and hugging, oh, that kind of romance. I need y'all to keep in mind one thing is that none of them are actual children. Kine is not a kid, he is a stigma king. Um, Rochi, which is the female lead's name, Rochi, is not an actual kid either. And there's like more things that will later be explained about who she actually is. So she is not an actual kid. Lucian is not an actual kid. None of them are actual kids. None of the three are actual kids. They all are pretty much have like grown up minds, but two of them are born and reborn as a kid, and one's just like using a shell. I think that's how he describes it, a shell of a human. And for the romance, she doesn't really realize that she loves him like that until around 92, 93, episode 92 or 93, where she's like, wait a minute, I actually like him like this. I kind of want to be with him. So she starts realizing that. Kind of on the other hand, because there is a whole bunch of other situation where I really want to read the novel because this was spoiled for me. Kine has always known her. And I hope they show this fact in the manhwa, where he has always known her in all of her past lives. But he's also way more respectful about it too. And I do mean he is way more respectful. In that, Kine doesn't want to pressure her. He just doesn't. he's wanting to be there for her. He's wanting to be by her side. He doesn't want to pressure her. And I have to give him points for that. He is wanting to be by her side. He doesn't want to pressure her. He doesn't want to scare her. He just wants to be by her side, irregardless whether they're actually together or not. And she eventually realizes in like one of the two chapters, 92 and 93, that she actually likes him and she accepts him. Basically accepts, like, he gave her a ring in like one of the earlier chapters, like around 89, 90, and then like around one of those two chapters, there's a time skip. Or it's like around 80, it's between 80 and 90, where there's like a time skip from when she gave her the ring to when she is now, like, in the current chapters, I believe she's 14. I believe she's like 14. The best way that I can figure this out is by doing this. Because I believe she gets, like, there's a time skip where she is like 14 or older. I believe mm, I don't want to be quoted for something that I might be wrong in. Because there's a time skip, and yeah, 5 years later, and I believe she is, what, 15? No, 13. I was wrong. She's 13 years old. So there's like two different time skips. One after her birthday, which is 8. She goes up to like another age, 13, and now she's like 13. So there's like two different time skips. There, I'm telling you this right now, there might be a third one. I'm just saying that. Anyways, so it was after that time skip where she was giving a ring. She's like, "Do you know what the ring means?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "Okay, I'm not ready for this. Can we not do this?" And it's like, "Okay." He's basically like chill. He's really is that green flag. Even though he's proven that he can kill, he doesn't kill. Like, he does not kill unless she wants him to. That's the thing. He's a complete green flag. So the romance, I will have to say I would give that like a 10 out of 10. So far. So far it's a 10 out of 10. I am not entirely sure if that's going to increase or decrease. It is very much dependent on whether or not in the future chapters that increases or decreases. So the only way for me if it would decrease is if he goes off the deep end. And what I mean by that is, like, if he goes complete psycho. So depending on what he goes complete psycho, then it's either going to be an increase or decrease. Now that I gave all of that rating, I will say it's still a 10 out of 10 for me. The story's done really well. I honestly wish I could read the novel. By the way, for the status of this, it is ongoing. It is still ongoing. It's not been completed, and I've looked over in the Korean side. There's more chapters than 125. There just is more chapters. So I want y'all to keep that in mind as well. And there is more chapters than just what's out currently. Um there are also chapters where he kind of has a mental breakdown, and I believe that's like around 100. I want to say it's like between 108, 120. It's between those where he has a complete mental breakdown because he's like, "Oh God, I broke my promise." But she tries to reassure him, which it's like a halfway between reassuring and her just like, oh, he's so adorable because he physically transformed into a younger version of himself, which has been proven, which actually been proven that when she gets terrified of him, kind of, he actually goes into like a something small and adorable to lessen that. He did that. He actually did that once. That was like in the earlier chapters, and she got scared of him because he was transforming into people she knows and saying that, oh, I can eat them. And she's just like, no, please don't. So he realizes he's scaring her, and then he transforms into like a small creature, like a small fox, and then transforms again to like he transforms first into a small blob, and he's like, she's like, oh, you're so cute, can I touch you? Because it's like so adorable to her. And then he transforms into a small fox, which he lets her hold him. It's just so adorable. And then Lucian meets him as a small fox, and he's like, ooh, I'm going to take advantage of this, and I'm just going to bite your hand because you're trying to touch me. It's just really funny for how that happens. What else? Oh, so I think I could be wrong. This is like me, I can be wrong about this. The How much of the chapters might cost would be like around 360, which technically speaking, you can get a good amount of episodes with like a 10.99 or a 19.99. Or you can take the like long run if you want to support the author and just wait until the free, like you get free points, free points for on Mondays. You get free points on Mondays if you got the app on your phone. Uh, I don't really have anything else to talk about other than the fact that this is to me like my favorite manga. I honestly want to I want to read the novel. The novel is going to have a lot more um details, as well as from what I heard and from what I got spoiled. In the novel, she keeps apologizing to him. While in the manhwa, she's not really afraid of him. She's not apologizing. She's not afraid of him. So there is that. I don't really have anything else to say now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the video right here. The current last chapter, and this is like the current last chapter for Topaz, is it stops at where it gets revealed that Shady, spoiler alert, is still alive, and she is Count Saemon's daughter. Um, is able to see Kind's true form. And that's a fun one to find out. Like a real fun one to find out. So yeah. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of this. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. By the way, if you want to support the Telepass one, the little lady behind the villain, please do. Because this one is because the story is very good. If you want good translations. If you don't want good translations, the second name is the youngest daughter of the villainous Duke. There is only 125 chapters so far for that side being published. Honestly, for how slow this side has been published, I would say that it will probably be quicker on Topaz. Topaz does update theirs every Saturday. So every Saturday you're gonna get a new free, not free, but like every new episode. They also updated their like cover, so there is that. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And of course, I'll see y'all next time. Take care, sleep well, and have a good day. Bye bye, cozies and gremlins.